curious about, because hopefully tonight will be the night. It all changes 52 seasons in. But a couple of things. Adrian Beltre said over the weekend, this is when it was 1-0? Yeah. I think if we win 3 more games, I'm not only going to be thrilled for the fans in Texas, but I'm going to feel like it's a little weight off of us because we didn't get it done, and those guys could do it for us. And then Corey Seager, when just think about that for a second. And then Corey Seager, when he signed with the Rangers, he said, when I heard that the Rangers had never won it all, it was exciting for me to be a part of something on the ground floor and help build that. And so how much of this is, because I feel like the logical answer, Mike, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is
that big old paycheck was nice too.
For sure. Is like the players are like, hey, let's win the World Series for us, and then everything else will take care of itself. But I do wonder when I hear Beltre say that, like, how much of the Metroplex, how much of the franchise carries this weight of, hey, you were 1 strike away multiple times and you couldn't get it done?
I think quite a bit. I don't want to put too much on it, but I do think quite a bit. I don't think the players are thinking about that when they step on the field tonight. They might be thinking it right now, eating breakfast together and stuff like that, but you can't really do that.
Yeah.
I understand former players. Obviously, my father was the first ever Dallas-Fort Worth native to play for the Texas Rangers. I was the first ever son of a Texas Ranger to play for the Texas Rangers.
What a cool,
this
side
means
by the way.
A whole bunch to the Bassick family. We wouldn't really be a part of it at all. Obviously, my father and I never pitched in any playoff game or any huge situation for the Texas Rangers, but we're part of the history, and it would just be really cool for the team that I grew up loving, for the team that my dad, he didn't grow up loving this team. They weren't around when he was in high school.
But he's loved them since, right? Like
right.
He's a baseball guy.
He was really pumped up. I mean, he ended up, Whitey Herzog was the one who kind of was like, all right, we're going to give this kid a chance. And ended up working out 3 years later, making the Texas Rangers. So it means a lot to a lot of people. I know how much it meant to that team, and maybe that's why they didn't play their best against San Francisco. I'm not trying to go way back in time, but when they made the World Series for this franchise, for Eric Nadel, for the people that had been around for a very long time, for that team, for Derek Holland and all the guys we know, they knew it had never happened in Rangers history that they had made the World Series, and it felt like, in a way, goal accomplished. And so now this team knew, hey, this franchise has been to the World Series, but they probably understood a little bit of the hurt that was 2011. And here they are 1 win away from knowing that they would be special. They would live forever. In a way, it's really weird. I mean, Dave Roberts is one of my buddies, and I know Boston had a World Series back in like 1492 or whatever it was. But like Dave Roberts lives forever there for stealing that base against Mariano Rivera down 3-0 in the ALCS. That 04 team lives forever in Boston. It doesn't take away the 3 other championships they won after, but that team is the most special team in Boston Red Sox history and will never be replaced. This team, no matter what happens, if they win it, no matter what happens in 2024 or 2044, this will be the team we always remember.
Yeah, it'll be the one that broke through. I mean, look at how we treat the Mavs, like Sean Marion, all
Tyson
those
Chandler
guys.
was here for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And he's huge in the Metroplex.
Yeah, and that's, Kevin, take that away. Like, that's the last championship we have.
Yep.
So here in this area, like it's not like we were grown up and born into all the time we're in the championships. Now, the Cowboys gave us a great run when we were younger.
Sure.
It's been non-existent since then. And we've been we've been battling that. But Kevin, I think what we've seen, because you and I both grew up Rangers fans. We didn't have a dad that played for the Rangers, but we were Rangers fans anyway.
That's true.
And I think it's interesting. All of us have different ways that we came together with sports, But we've grown up Rangers fans. I played for the Red Hot Rangers in T-ball growing up. That was my team. We had the T hat. It was amazing. But we've noticed here on our fan text, there have been people that they didn't care about baseball. They found our show somehow, and then they just said, you know what? I'm riding with whatever these guys are throwing on air today. I'm just gonna enjoy the entertainment because that's what they're there for. And so because we care about it, they've said, you know what, I'm starting to care about baseball now. So whether or not they understand that or are living that from 2011, which that group probably is not, welcome. Enjoy this if it happens for us, because I keep seeing it pop up on the TV and I keep hearing people talk about it. And I'm like, that's a different thing, man. Let's forget about that for a minute, because focus on what's about to happen here. Then we have fans that Kevin just joined in 2011, and that's the only heartbreak that they know is what happened in that moment. And now here they are getting ready to celebrate maybe the greatest moment. So across this whole thing, Kevin, I think DFW has a collection of people that have had this experience that was stolen from them and brand new to the experience. And maybe even from now on, all they know is this is what the Rangers baseball is supposed to be.
From the 903, I really like this question because I have thoughts. Will Corey Seager become the second best DFW sports icon? I'm not saying that has to happen, but what I am saying is your contract is justified. I don't give a crap what happens over the next, on the field, over the next 7 years. I'd be like, hey, that's great, or that's tough, but he helped us get a World Series.
We're going to discuss Corey Seager at 1 o'clock because I had a question and I went and looked around to figure it out. But Corey Seager, his history is still in the making right now, man, and it's great. And you're seeing people, Kevin. I joined the fan around 07. I've been listening to you guys for 11 years. It's freaking awesome. Moved in 2001 to get here.
That's so
Lots
cool.
of people with different ways of how they've become Rangers fans. And this year specifically, we were the show that was there when nobody else was there. Us and G-Bag, this station sent us out there and said, y'all go cover this. And everybody else, it was empty in that place, except for this station, because we love baseball. We said we want to be there. We want to be there for this from beginning to end, just like we have every single year. We show up for the Rangers at spring training while other people are like, we could do something else. We were like, we want to be around the Rangers.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. This is an interesting side note is if we win, I could finally go back and watch some 2011 stuff. Because think about it. How much that team was so great and so much fun. But I know for a lot of people, they're like, nope.
There were some great games in that series.
Yes. And I felt the same way about the 06 Mavs eventually, because once they got their title, I could go back and watch and be like, oh, yeah, yuck it up now, Wade. Just wait until 2011. After all of that, it clearly already happened. And so I wonder how many more people are like, it still sucks, but at least I can watch it more.
Sandler talked about that last night, and I don't feel this way, but I think you might, because I know how much you hate the Cardinals. I don't hate the Cardinals.
I do.
But I know a lot of Ranger fans do, and Jared Sandler says every time the Rangers play the Cardinals, he has a tough time watching the game and looking on the field, even in 2023, that's a little weird to me, but I totally get it. I'm really weird when it comes to Maverick stuff, right? Yeah. And so I'm like, well, it's a bunch of different guys. There's really not a rivalry like there is with Houston or kind of the Yankees or with the Angels, Seattle, stuff like that. But I totally get it for a lot of Ranger fans. They get depressed just seeing the Cardinals jersey.
That's the way I am, because you looked at the progression of 2010 and 2011 is 2010 and elements of 2009, honestly, were super, super fun. And then you got there and it just didn't hurt my heart the same way it did against St. Louis, just because I was like, man, we still made it to the World Series and our team is on the way up. And so 2011, I feel like so many people were all in, like from the very beginning. And that team was so much fun in terms of how good they were, in terms of great personalities, in terms of incredible moments throughout the season. Yeah. And then it all got taken away. And that's why still to this day, I hate the St. Louis Cardinals, because they stole that from us, from me, they took it because when I say from me, I know the counter is, oh, you're not on the team. Like, I get that. But I grew up in the Metroplex, just like we all did. I love the Rangers. I have spent thousands of hours going to Rangers games, watching them, listening to them. And all of that was apexing in this moment. And then it was gone. But now it might be back.
You remember when Albert Pujols hit that one off the wall?
Yes.
And it sounded like it blew a hole in the wall in the stadium back there? That was wild.
There's part of me, I'm going to be honest here. because I keep thinking about winning a championship and I'm mad at myself. And I almost want to stop the show.
Yeah.
Just because there's so much about if we do this and your feelings in this. But I mean, we are setting up the stage for tonight. This is possibly going to be the greatest night in Texas Rangers history, and nothing comes close. And obviously we had game 6. We were hurt so much. It was just this horrible feeling going into game 7 of like, I can't believe this happened. I guess there is a game 7, but it almost felt like our fate to not win.
Yes.
So that you had 2 chances to win, but game 7 didn't even feel like a chance when you got to that game. And I know that Derek Holland would feel different and stuff, but as a fan, it just felt like you don't even have this chance. Tonight, you have this chance, greatest night, but I almost feel like, should we just be talking more about last night? Should we just be talking about the matchup tonight and not even discuss these emotional feelings that will all happen if the special moment happens?
This is one part where I am glad that I'm not on the team then, because of just lack of athletic ability. Is I can deal with these ups and downs more than they're like, I hope they go to the park and they're like, this is just another game, but you're worried about getting your heart broken.
Right. And then, and let's be honest, none of those players that I know grew up Ranger fans. Like the closest guy on the field last night that grew up a Ranger fan was, why am I drawing a blank? The guy who pinch hit in the 9th inning from Dallas Jesuit.
Jordan Lawler.
Jordan Lawler. Like, he's the biggest Ranger fan there is in both dugouts, because I'm assuming he grew up in Carrollton, went to Dallas Jesuit, and probably grew up a Ranger fan. Was probably a big fan somewhat as a little kid of the 2010, 2011, and probably 15 and 16 Texas Rangers. But for these guys, they know the history of the Rangers in a way, but it's not like in a fan way where none of those guys suffered in 2011. Sure. Even Chris Young didn't suffer at all in 2011. He wasn't part of the Rangers then. So there's this feeling of tonight, Evaldi taking the mound. And I don't know, I'm going into it as, in a way, I'm going into it as just another World Series game. I don't think I'll think about it's going to possibly all come to an end in a positive way until you get to like 6 outs to go. I don't see the first inning as anything different as than I saw last night, honestly.
That's a good spot to.
It is a great spot to be.
6 outs left. And then
I wish I could be in that spot. I woke up 2 hours early this morning, and my wife looked at me and said, "Why are you awake?" And I said, "Because the Rangers might win the World Series tonight."
Yeah, I understand.